Are you ready to create a life you crave? Let's spin that doom loop of negativity into an upward success cycle and start living lucky. Good morning. I'm Jana.
I'm Jason.
And we are living lucky.
You are too.
We've been doing a series about the 14 questions that will change your life. Today
Life-changing
is number 8.
Develop a daily ritual. So the question is, what consistent practices would nourish my mind, my body, and my soul? And how can I incorporate these into my daily routine?
Okay. I believe in morning routines. I even believe in nighttime routines and sleep routines. I believe in lunchtime routines. I do believe for me, I do better when I can start stacking little habits together.
Yes.
For example, as of recent, I have been really into washing my face. Like almost to the point where I have made it into a spa night. Every night where when I'm doing my evening routine, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to wash my pores. I'm going to do this little.
I'm exfoliating.
Yes.
I'm scraping.
And I put my hair back.
Plucking my mustache.
I put like a little headband on and I don't pluck my mustache.
I was seeing if you were listening to me.
Yeah, it took me a while, didn't it? And I believe that has helped. How many people have commented on my skin?
Dozens.
Real, right? I almost
you're
said,
glowing.
really?
You're glowing.
So I guess what I want to say is routines for me, it takes away the decision fatigue of what am I supposed to be doing right now? Because I have that a lot.
One of the things I love about the way we work within routines is not being scared to take something out of the routine, to try something new. Like, because the face part, like you did a face routine. I'm not a face scrubbing guy.
I used to do a face routine when we first got married, and then I got out of the habit.
But you still like will wipe off and stuff. Like,
yeah, I kind of wipe my makeup
But now
off.
you've gotten very specific and granular with it, and there's been huge changes.
Yes.
So it's like, sometimes we fall into a routine that creates a rut. So examining
I'm so glad you brought that up. Yes, because sometimes our routines are actually self-defeating.
Yes, because first of all, something might not be as productive as it once was. And second of all, it might be a trap of sameness. Mm-hmm. And that's that definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result.
For example, sometimes Jason and I will get in a habit of needing a sweet treat.
God, I resemble that.
But it's true.
I know.
And then sometimes I'm like, you know what? It's not that I'm hungry. It's just a habit. It's
become part of my routine.
It's part of sitting down and watching TV.
I'm supposed to have ice cream after dinner. It's part of I built that habit in.
Yes. Do you know what I'm saying?
Do I? I live it.
Okay, so let's go through. We're just going to share with you.
Let's go. A basic morning routine.
Yes. And I actually think that after this series of podcasts of life-changing questions is over, I think we should revisit routines.
There's 2 things that I want to come back to.
Yes.
One of them is the 4 most important questions.
Okay.
And then I really want to dive deep into like either morning routines or evening routines, or maybe a podcast on each.
Okay. So let's just go through a basic routine that we will share with you. And we were introduced to this back in 2020, I believe.
I thought it was like 2018 or.
Well, it just so happened that we became the facilitators on the
Miracle Morning Clubhouse.
Yes, there was a Clubhouse platform, and Jason and I actually helped facilitate the morning.
For about 300 people.
The miracle morning routine.
Every single day.
Every day we did this.
God.
And since then, we have done the 75 hard routine. We've
tried several.
We've done the 5 o'clock in the morning routine.
Yeah, 5 a.m. club.
Like there's just several different routines to start your day.
I really like sleeping in on that 5 a.m. club.
What I will say though is that if I can do just a few basic things for myself first thing in the morning, first thing, it helps me really just set the tone and the vibe. Because here's the thing, if I don't do it for myself first thing in the morning, then other things get in the way. Emails start coming in.
Other
I
goals.
need to walk my dog. Other people need me for different things. But that first hour of the day, there's no excuses.
I look at this as literally a very personal and very intentional recharging, like a recharging of your mind, your soul, your spirit. And that's part of the question, because that's why that's so important to be in the question. It says, what consistent practices would nourish your mind, your body, and your soul? Because we talk about it all the time, that how you show up in the world is going to predicate the results you get.
It's so true.
So when you show up energized and peaceful and like intentional,
it's your energy.
You will get that back.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And you get to choose that. So
I agree with that. So here's a basic routine.
Is the very basic morning routine.
And this is from The Miracle Morning with Hal Elrod.
And Tickle Me Elrod.
So if you use the word savers, it will help you remember. It's like an acronym for all the things that you can do that first hour that you wake up.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing is it's 6 letters in the word savers.
So it's 10 minutes for each.
10 minutes for each one.
For each letter.
And that's doable. If you don't have 10 minutes for each one of these throughout the day or in the morning, then you've got bigger fish to fry.
So savers, SAVERS. The S stands for silence. And for me, that means meditation. I sit and I just clear my mind. I uncharge. And, you were saying earlier that it's not just a way for me to listen to God or listen to my inner voice, but it's also a way for my hormones.
Your cortisol levels drop tremendously. If you can give yourself 10 or 15 minutes of silence and meditation, you're way ahead of the ball game, because we live in a world that is so full of distractions, so full of
we're in fight or flight
things to do and decisions to make, and stress is at its all-time high right now. Mm-hmm. Like we're in the best time of our lives and also in the busiest times of our lives.
Yes.
Because there's so many options available.
That is so
true.
True.
We're always in this hyper sense of stress and I don't want to say panic.
Edge.
We're on edge.
We're on alert. We're constantly on alert.
Cortisol levels have like the norm of what it was 20 years ago or 30 years ago is that we've moved our thermostatic home for what our cortisol levels are up into dangerous levels.
Which is why a lot of us have an extra layer of belly fat.
So
it's all because of those hormones that we're releasing without even knowing it.
Give yourself 10 minutes, 15 minutes of silence and distraction-free recharging and just rest. And that's equivalent to like 2 hours of sleep. Is
just by sitting still and just letting your brain not have to think about anything, which I know people say that's the struggle. As I sit there and I think about everything.
Catch your thoughts. That's the thing, is you're not going to be perfect. I didn't meditate for years because I couldn't do it right. It was my thought on that. And then I was taught by a meditation coach, there's no wrong way. And it's just being aware of those thoughts that are going through your mind and then allowing them to go and make sure we're not catching hold of them, and just try to keep coming back to silence until you're good at coming back to silence.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, so S is silence. A.
Affirmations.
Now, for me, I have a coach named Robin Banks, and he has the best affirmations. And right now,
you like sing-song affirmations.
I do. I like sing-songy affirmations. I love to get into like a rhythm. And right now, my affirmation is, I'm brilliant.
I'm bright. I'm a radiant being of light.
I'm brilliant. I'm bright. I'm a radiant being of light. I'm brilliant. I'm bright. I'm a radiant being of light.
And for me and my clients, what I like to do is have them go through like the 10 most successful times in their life, the 10 moments in life where they felt the most loved or the most impactful, and write those things out and then come up with an affirmation around those. Because a lot of times we ignore how successful we are and how amazing we are and that we've had these moments. And when you have an affirmation that you remember and you see is so true, you get to rewrite the version of you that's showing up in the morning.
Okay, so affirmations, for anyone that is like, I don't really know what you're talking about. It's either a positive saying, it can be what Jason
It's your
said.
most empowering
It's
truth.
revisiting a feeling that maybe is empowering to you.
Where it's connecting to the person that you're becoming.
To the highest version of yourself.
So big. Yes. I got my hand up, like hallelujah.
Now, immediately after affirmations, because these two, there's a blurred line between these two, is visualization. The V stands for visualize. So not only do you want to say these positive things to yourself, these optimistic, enthusiastic,
boy, do I have enthusiasm,
chants, incantations, words, you not only say those to yourself, the next step is to visualize them actually happening.
Yes. Visualize that version of you experiencing the best day possible.
And being in that energy. So many times we just need to step into our best self energy. That's really what we need to do. And we don't take the time to visualize, what does that look like? What does that feel like? What does that taste like? What does that smell like? What does that sound like?
What are the words being used in my environment
What
here?
are the thoughts that go through my head when I'm in that energy?
Ooh.
So that's V, visualize. The next one is E. So 10 minutes of movement in the morning is
intentional movement.
Intentional movement.
Not walking back and forth to the refrigerator, back and forth to the coffee maker, but intentional movement designed for exercise or heart rate.
And I feel it's necessary.
Yes.
Like I almost feel like if you don't do some sort of movement, it's almost like taking a depressant in the morning.
Yeah.
Right?
Get your motor running.
And so it almost 10 minutes of exercise almost puts you at start point.
Yes.
I think because
amen.
I'm human and I get into ruts where I don't exercise and it takes a toll on me mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically.
And just imagine the difference between just getting up and kind of rolling through the day, or getting up and just getting your blood pumping like you've just been to a pep rally and then saying, I own this day. Like it's one of those little things. In 10 minutes of exercise, that's one of those things where it's just like, hey, put it in the calendar, put your timer on and just knock it out. It's 10 minutes.
The next one is R, and that stands for reading.
Yeah.
If we can read for 10 minutes in the morning, I know that doesn't sound like a lot. However, 10 minutes of information being fed into your brain, it's really just investing in yourself.
Yeah, that's a perfect time to do it is after the exercise because it'll give your body a chance to kind of wind back down. If you worked up a sweat, 10 minutes should be enough for you to stop that sweat. Because how many times have you gone from the gym or been exercising really hard, jumped in the shower, got out, even if it's a cold shower, and you realized after you've done drying off that you're still sweating. So this will be a perfect little time. And I think my math might be wrong here, but I feel like somewhere between 14 and 17 minutes a day, that would be a 1% of your day.
Yeah.
So they talk about,
doesn't sound like much at all.
I know, but when they talk about,
and yet over time, that sounds like a lot. Yes.
When you talk about incremental improvements, if I embraced something that built my brain and expanded my imagination every day for like 10 to 15 minutes, crazy things happen.
Okay. And then last but not least is another S because it's plural, savers. This is going to save your life, savers. And that last S stands for scribe. And for me, that means gratitude journaling or even morning pages. I just love sometimes to just vomit out my true thoughts. And I try not to think about it. I try not to censor. I try not to filter. I try to just let my hand do the talking. And it may surprise you what comes out sometimes.
Yeah. And then you can examine it. That's the beautiful thing, because when you're just free flowing,
It makes
like
you
that,
aware.
then you get to look at it and say, "Oh wow, that's disempowering," or "Oh wow, is there a different truth here that I can grab onto and is more empowering for me?"
So this is just a sample routine. Feel free to borrow it. We didn't come up with it. We are using it from the Miracle Morning, and it has worked really well for us. And we actually have found that we tweak it here and there for our own.
The key is figuring out what works for you.
Yes.
Like it's like turmeric is not going to work for everyone for their like a supplement. But figure out what in this works for you, create your own morning routine.
It'll give you a template of where to start.
Exactly. Then you get to play around with it and tweak your engine, get your motor running, get out on the highway and start living lucky.
Get your motor running.
Get out on the highway.
Okay, I'm saying goodbye now.
Keep
Love you.
lucky.
Bye-bye. If the idea of living lucky appeals to you, visit us at startlivinglucky.com.